Hello everyone, welcome back to Hunting Simulator 2. So, I still been getting a lot of questions about grizzly bears and just where to find them and how I'm having so much success with them. So I thought I'd make an updated guide to grizzly bears. So, first things first, for grizzly bears you're going to need a pretty high caliber weapon. I use a 30-06 personally. For me it just does the job. You can use anything you want honestly, but just note that, if you use some of the lower caliber guns, you're not going to have any luck with these things. They're just going to run off on you. So 30-06 for me would be the bare minimum you should shoot for. So when looking for grizzly bears in Roosevelt Forest, I would recommend bringing a predator collar and binoculars. But honestly, as long as you have a high caliber rifle and a good scope, you should be able to get one of these just fine. They're not too difficult to find. So, the other important thing that you have to remember that, as you'll see in this first clip I'm showing you, I didn't remember, would be to bring your grizzly bear license with you. I was out wandering the forest and came across a super nice one that would have been, good 3,800 credits, and then realized I didn't pay for a tag. So that was disappointing. But anyway, your area for grizzly bears that will give you most success is going to be the central ridgeline in Roosevelt Forest. For some reason, I said this in my last video on grizzly bears, that this was the best spot. People still have a little bit of questions, but I just want to reemphasize how good this region is. So pay attention to wind direction and other animals in the area. You have to note that, grizzly bears, there's only be like one that spawns on the map. So they are hard to find, but this ridgeline, just for some reason, lets you find them so easily. So based off the wind direction, that should tell you whether you need to walk from the south end of it to the north end of it, or vice versa. Just pay attention to that and really try to look off to the northeast side. For some reason, if you like between this ridge and the river that goes up past that lake, that's like your prime area for grizzly bears. That's where I've always had the most success and where you're guaranteed to find them. So what you also have to note about these bears is that wind does have a huge impact on it. You need to make sure that you're using scent eliminators, anything like that, because they will get spooked easily and run off. So I would recommend you only, make sure you bring scent eliminator with you. But when you're going out hunting these things, you need to make sure you're only going after a grizzly. Because if you get bored and shoot an elk or something, you're gonna scare the bears out of this area, and it'll be much harder to find. If you just be patient and wait for a grizzly bear blowing on the predator collar, they should come right to you. It's really just a matter of patience. So the reason why this area is so good is, one, you're high up, you have an amazing vantage point. And two, the area below there, yes, there's a lot of trees down there, but there's so many openings that they're easy to spot. So, if you played a lot of other shooters where you're used to just reacting quickly the second you see movement off in the distance, they should be pretty easy to spot. But I would recommend bringing a pair of high-powered binoculars, or just, in general, I would say a very high-powered scope. Don't be trying to take a shot over 200 yards. That's definitely the way you're going to lose these things. But just make sure you're getting within a good range, because the last thing you want to do is get a non-lethal hit on it and have to go tracking it. Usually if you have to go tracking after the bear, I'd say a 75% chance you're going to lose it, because it takes forever. A non-lethal hit on a grizzly in this game, you're going to be tracking it for just an hour basically. It's so annoying. So just make sure you get in super close and pay close attention. Now once you spot one from the top of the ridge, I have to recommend that you sit and wait for a second. Just because the area is so forested down below you, they're easy to lose. So if you need to take note of the direction, try to plan out to yourself, look at the speed of which it's moving, and then try to see if you can cut it off. In the clip you'll see, for some reason, this one stopped in the middle of the forest, and I got an easy shot on it just because I guess I'm super lucky. I don't know why. But make sure you take a note on the direction it's moving. Your predator collar is a huge asset to you, just because you can change the direction of it. So you can honestly lure it out into an open space where you can have a cleaner shot on it. But in general, I would not try to take a shot at any grizzlies that would be in the tree line, just because risking that non-lethal hit means the difference between you getting 0 credits or 4,000. It's just not worth it. So just keep in mind, it's always going to be a matter of patience, and it's honestly a matter of luck too. Like I said, there's only one bear that spawns on the map. Your highest odds of finding it are getting up high in the center of the map, looking off to the northeast, and just seeing what's there. You're not going to see it every time. It's not always going to be there. Sometimes you'll see just deer and turkeys down below. But if you keep just either spawning in at the cabin and going just straight up the ridgeline from the south side, or fast traveling to the northern camp up by that lake and coming down towards the ridge, towards like coming from the south. Sorry, I got that backwards. The camp to the north coming down, it's from the south, and then yeah, I got it right the first time actually. But just find different ways to access that ridgeline, run along the top of it, and just sit up there with binoculars and look closely. Just because usually it is there, they're just kind of hard to see. So, again, big things to note: wind direction, scent, and just try to be quiet. Which is kind of, typically everything for this game, but it matters the most when you're hunting grizzlies. So as you'll see in this crit, when I got down into the valley, I came out through these trees trying to find this bear. And, just being as lucky as I am, he was just casually sniffing the roses, and I got a nice shot on him, and then he just dropped dead right there. So, yeah, that's kind of an updated guide to grizzly bears. I hope this was helpful. Leave any comments down below if you have any questions. I'll do my best to get back to you and answer them. And thank you for choosing to watch Master and Terra Gaming, and I'll see you guys in the next one.